down to circumstances in terms of Rangers having to bring some money in. That was it.
Right.
That's what it was down to. It broke my heart to leave.
So Rangers wanted to sell you to get the money.
They had to bring money in through different avenues at the time, and that's the way it worked. But I was back under, I think it was about 16 months later. I come back.
How does that come about then, Fergie? Did they just pull you in an office and tell you that, or is it through an agent?
Yeah, there was quite a few clubs at the time interested, but I wasn't bothered. If I've been honest, I was living the dream. I was doing what hundreds of thousands of young Rangers fans would want to do and play with the club they always supported as a boy, and I was doing that. And listen, one thing led to another, and sometimes you have to go down that route and go. But thankfully I get the opportunity to come back, which was quite tough, to be fair, when I come back, because quite a small minority of fans didn't really accept it when I come back.
Really?
Which was hard, but I understood that, because they didn't really know the full ins and outs, you know what I mean. It just wasn't down to Rangers 100%. It came to me as well, and I had to make that decision, but it was one of the hardest and toughest decisions. But when I come back, that was the hardest thing, when people maybe had a gripe with you because you had the win, but then you've got to try and win them over, and the only way you can try and win them over is trying to give decent performances on the pitch and win more trophies.
Do you regret going?
Yeah, I should have put my foot down. Yeah.
Did David Murray take you and say,
no,
Barry, we're going to need the money?
It was a mixture of the board and manager and Martin Bain.
But is there also a time it comes, Fergie, that you want to go and test yourself against the best to see how good you are?
Yeah, but I was still testing myself, because we were playing Champions League, and the players at that time you were playing against were unbelievable. But it's like everything, the grass isn't always greener. Let people say that, and on a side, and you go down and you realise when you actually leave and you go to other clubs and you play in the Premier League, which is great, fully world-class footballers, but the size of the club that Rangers wasn't a patch in any of them, and the atmosphere, and I found it strange, because both times I was down there, the pressure was strange. If you come off the pitch and you drew a game,
get it well done.
Yep, but up here it was, you had to win every game, so you were coming off. If you drew it at Ibrox, or you suffered defeat at Ibrox, the fans would be on you. But I quite liked that side of it, because they were putting pressure on you, and if you want to play at the biggest clubs, you've got to play under pressure.
And Blackburn were a big club at the time. Graham Souness, the manager.
Yep.
And that was obviously, was that part of the pool then?
Yeah, probably, because he was one of the best Scottish midfielders ever, Graham Souness.
For sure.
There's no doubt about it. But listen, when I left, I knew after a couple of months I'd made the wrong decision.
It's a similar situation to Tiernan, isn't it? You know, boyhood Celtic fans, same as Fergie. But when that money it's like, obviously your wages went up going to Blackburn as well.
Was there a lot more money in England? Good question. Yeah.
But see, the thing is, after a month, 6 weeks, I'll be honest with you,
money didn't matter.
No, I driving back, and I'm like, you don't know how much you miss it. You don't know how much a pull it is, because you know what it's like when you grow up and you go and live the dream, and then decisions are made, and ultimately it falls on you.
The Go Radio Football Show.